important topic for all of us. So today we're going to dive into brain health and why it is so important for us to have a focus on our brain health for our longevity, not just because of all the health issues that I'm going to dive into momentarily, but also because when it comes to so many of us, I hear so many women complain, I have brain fog, I have a hard time focusing, I have a hard time getting done everything that's on my to-do list. And that leads to more stress, which leads to more impact on our gut, which means to worse functioning of our brain health. So we end up putting ourselves in a lot of cycles when it comes to our health, and then it's hard to get out of those loops or out of those cycles. And instead, I'd like us to be in healthy loops, beneficial loops that are good for us. And so brain health, as we're coming into the holiday season, is an even more important topic because as we approach the holidays or any busy season, oftentimes we're going to be changing up our diet, changing up our activity level, dealing with a lot more factors or inputs that have us more distracted than ever, when it's also important to just get present, focused, and enjoy this time. So going into Q4, end of the year, a lot of times people are working more, wrapping up the year in the corporation you work for, the business you work for, or in your own business if you're an entrepreneur. You've got Christmas or Hanukkah or your major holiday of choice. So all the gifting and the celebrating and the gatherings that are involved with that. A lot of times people have holiday travel because this is when they have time off. So there's travel stresses. There's also kids not in school for 2 to 3 weeks. That can be a big stress for any household because you've got to juggle kids, homework, and all those different aspects. And so today I want to dive into the different aspects of brain health that we can focus on in advance to give ourselves the health that we want. If you don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Shivani Gupta. I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. I did my master's in Ayurvedic sciences and my PhD on turmeric. And my goal is to educate the world about Ayurveda as a preventive lifestyle, this toolkit that we can live by every single day that helps us prevent a lot of the disease and health issues that people suffer from, while also building vibrant health, building health at that level that we want of feeling incredible, waking up joyful and rested, eating well throughout the day and feeling supported and healthy, having the brain function and focus and capacity to do everything we want, but also feeling so good in our bodies, feeling pain-free so that we can step forward in each moment present and happy and healthy and really be that center of our lives, center for ourselves, our family, our community, and that ripple outward happens across multiple dimensions and realities. Really, it spreads outwards through everyone around us. And so my goal is to teach you about vibrant health here in this Facebook group and online and show women that we can have a different approach altogether for our health. So let's dive in today. There is so much research around the topics of neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, which are some of the more well-known ones. There's so much research around migraines and how that's neuroinflammation in the body. There's a lot of conversation happening right now around brain fog and focus and how that relates to perimenopause and menopause. And why is it that all of a sudden hitting certain decades of life or certain stages of life, women are suffering a lot more when it comes to focus and the different things that matter to them. And I hear that a lot. I have a lot of women who come to me with menopause symptoms, and I develop different formulas, teas, and solutions because I want us to have the support we need. Like I want us to have the toolkit and be supported and keep going so we can do the things we want to do, so we can be our healthiest, our happiest, and our most vibrant. And then also one thing that's coming up in the research lately is when it comes to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, and these neurodegenerative type diseases, a lot of times we can tie it back to diabesity or obesity and diabetes. We can tie it back to this being the type 3 diabetes coming down the pipeline because the world is not the world, but there's such a predominance in the world of type 2 diabetes and obesity and metabolic disease. And so we're really like setting ourselves up for this train wreck at the end. And so there's so much research being done to say, wow, why is that happening for us? And how can we prevent it right now? And this all relates to you right now because as we're dealing with the holidays, this is one of those moments where we make each decision and each decision's adding up to our future health. And the holidays tends to be that time of year where we're surrounded by so much more sugar, so much more inflammatory foods, desserts, alcohol, parties, celebrations, gatherings, holiday foods, holiday traditions. And so I really invite you to take a moment and just look at what are these traditions and which ones do you want to keep and which ones need to be modified for your best health. For me, I am a gluten-free vegetarian. So I can't eat turkey on Thanksgiving. I can't eat certain foods that are holiday foods. But that doesn't mean I can't partake in a whole lot of carbs and junk food. I can. But I have trained myself to understand that a pumpkin spice latte is way too much sugar for me. I used to drink the peppermint hot chocolate at Starbucks all the time. That was my drink before I got into tea. And I used to have it all the time with whipped cream and everything, not realizing that it's really a sugar bomb that's going to increase my sugar significantly, lead to obesity, lead to all the things I don't want in life. And so I release that. And sometimes during the holiday season, I'll say, oh my gosh, I just want my one peppermint hot chocolate. And sometimes I will go have it, but after a couple sips, I'm like, this is so much sugar. This is so sweet. I've untrained my palate from thinking that that tastes good, and thus I won't reach for it. And so how can you untrain your palate from desiring or craving foods that no longer serve you? As we go through our different decades of life, we know that our metabolism slow down. We know that we have to look at our health differently. I am going through one of those phases. I think this is perimenopause, where the body's like, oh, you can do everything the same, and we're not going to do everything the same as we used to. And you're like, dang it, this is not fair. I want to focus. I just want to work. I want to be happy. I want to be healthy, but I don't want to like spend a million hours on the project. I don't want to have to change things. But sometimes we have to do that. We have to adjust the workout to be a different style, maybe lower impact. Maybe we have to adjust the diet. Higher protein is needed at this phase. Maybe we have to cut inflammatory foods more to support the body because life is stressful or busy. So really taking a look at what are your toolkits and where do you need to calibrate and adjust is very important. And so going into this topic of brain health, there are many aspects to it that we need to focus on. The research in modern day times has proven that there's a gut-brain axis. In Ayurveda, we talked about gut-brain connection all the time and how gut is the center of all health. There's a topic of neuroinflammation and how our brain being inflamed is so problematic. It's what's causing people's migraines and things like that. So we're looking for solutions to reduce the inflammation so we can reduce migraines, headaches, and all these things that people suffer with, more so during the holidays. So pay attention to that yourself. If you have migraines and you track that you have migraines once a month, and now all of a sudden during the holidays, you've got them 5 times a month, what does that say about the shift? You can blame it on stress. You can say, oh my gosh, I had to like gift wrap 100 gifts and I had this and that. Or look at what you're eating. Look at your diet. Look at what you're drinking. Look at how can you support yourself going in so you have the resilience and that foundation so that all those things that normally happen don't happen to that extent or don't happen at all coming into the holiday season. Then dementia, early onset dementia. So as we look forward into our parents' generation or the generation ahead of us, what is that prevalence of dementia, neurodegenerative diseases, and these types of issues? And as you look into that, really pay attention. Is that something you want for yourself? Because in my family, we had my dad's dad, my grandpa, had Parkinson's. And growing up watching that, I was like, this is horrible. And this is hereditary? Like, this is in my genes? No. And then I've seen my uncle, my dad's brother, have tremors, my mom, different people. And I'm like, what's happening, guys? What is happening societally that so many people are breaking down so early? And what can we change? And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to educate with you guys. Then there's the topic of mental health. The research has shown gut inflammation, gut dysbiosis is what's contributing to our mental health issues. And as we approach holiday season, anxiety, depression, all these things are going to be up. We have a society right now that's struggling on so many levels. So many people are struggling financially, mentally, emotionally, with the chaos of the world and the things going on. So it's really important, not to mention physically, how much people are suffering. It's so much more important than ever that we focus on our mental health, that we focus on our gut health to support our mental health, that we focus on sleep and things like that to give us the support that we need, that foundation, that baseline, that resilience as we go into the next season. Then another important topic of research, obesity. Obesity is one of those things where I'll share it as a personal story. I myself have worked so hard all year on my business, and I was working out and I was eating healthy. And then all of a sudden I looked down and I was like, some weight has crept on. What's happening here? This is not good. Like, what's changing? So all I did was I cleaned up diet and exercise for the last few weeks, and I expected this magical result. Like, it should all fall off, melt off, right? And that's not happening. And I'm like, oh, well, why? Is it stress? Is it the holidays? Is it perimenopause? Or is it that I have to change the formula of what I'm doing for my body? So for me, I'm changing my workout completely. I'm lifting and a lot less cardio. That's one theory. Walking and yoga, a lot less of my high impact HIIT workouts that I was pretty addicted to. Protein, more vegetables, less carbs, not as much of all the fun foods I was eating before, much more consciousness around it. And I was talking to a friend of mine and I was like, you'd be surprised if all of us are running around with a body fat percentage that's not ideal. Even though we look healthy, we very much could be obese. If we're not looking at our cholesterol numbers and our blood work and our inflammation levels and our omega-3 levels in detail, we could be inflamed. So we think we're fine and we look fine and function fine. But if you're not digging under the hood and looking, how do you really know the truth about yourself? I do quarterly blood work or half yearly blood work because I think it's that important that we are looking into these details. And I'll give you an example. The other day I had called my handyman and I was like, something is wrong. The washing machine, everything coming out of it, the towels smell. And then I was like, you know what? I opened the dishwasher and the dishwasher smelled. Either the water in our city has just gone to total crap or something is wrong. And so he's like, well, did you change the filter? I was like, the filter in the dishwasher? No. He's like, okay. So we pulled it out. It was pink gunk in there. I was like, that looks like barf. Like, what is that? That's horrible. And then I thought to myself, that's called looking under the hood. If you don't look under the hood, you never get to see the truth. Same with the washing machine. I know there's something up with the washing machine. So in our case, as people who are out there trying to live our best life, eat as healthy as we can, unfortunately, the inputs coming in, kind of like water quality in some of our cities, the inputs coming in are not actually as good as we think. We've got fruit covered in a peel. We've got vegetables covered in pesticides. We've got water quality that's crap if we're not filtering it. We've got air quality that's questionable. We've got EMF all around us, causing trouble to the body. And so we really have to be on the defense. And the poor brain takes a beating when it comes to our health. And it's not something that we focus on. But to me, my brain health, my ability to access all my file cabinets of data is really important. As a public speaker, my brain health really matters to me. As someone who teaches online, I have to teach courses and programs sometimes where I'm on camera for 45 minutes and I've got to access everything in here so that I can say something insightful and intelligent and supportive and that's going to help change people's mindsets around their health. And so to me, investing in brain health is important. Just like you would invest in your weight loss or your gut health or your hair health. Some of us are obsessed with our hair health. Some of us are obsessed with our skin, right? So just like you can be into any of these topics, I invite you to be into your brain health as well. Support it from the ground up with the best supplements, the best tools, the best diet, the best focus on gut health, and all the things we're going to get into in just a moment. So the research is showing that we have to focus on obesity, on our weight, on our metabolic syndromes and metabolic issues that people are struggling with more than ever. And I'm not saying we all have to lose weight. What I'm saying is everybody has an ideal weight. And whatever that body's ideal weight is, whatever that makeup is for you, it's so important that we get close to it. Otherwise, we're not investing in our brain health over the long haul. So now let's dive into next steps because we can talk about all the problems till we're blue in the face, but all those problems have always existed. We just have more awareness. We have more science. We have more conversation around it. There's a lot more conversation around menopause, perimenopause, brain health, neurodegenerative diseases, inflammation, chronic low-grade persistent inflammation, gut-brain axis, impact of stress on our mental health, impact of stress on inflammation in the body. All of that is part of the conversation out there. At least it is for me, because that's all I read about and all I consume. So maybe it is for you, maybe it's not. If it's not, then I'm happy to be your source of sharing this wisdom that exists and this knowledge. But there's so much science coming out now on how we are interlinked and how we're truly causing our future neurodegenerative diseases, and how we're causing so many issues in the current moment with inflammation. And that's why we're in this group. We're in Inflammation Solution, a Facebook group where I'm here to provide you inflammation solutions and strategies that help you. So diving into the next steps, there are things we can do to help our brain health, our mental health, our physical health, our gut health, but most especially that brain health, which is our topic for today. Number one, manage your weight. Literally reduce excess fat and obesity. Easier said than done. But my invitation to you is play with the inputs. What is your diet? Can you change your macros? What is your workout? Can you change that? Are you actually moving enough? Wear a Fitbit or a steps tracker and check how many steps you're tracking in a day. I know for me, I sit at a desk on camera so much of my day that is a big problem. So I have to get out and move in the evenings. Now it's getting dark too early, but moving more, walking. A lot of times now, if it's a phone call, I just start walking. I'm like walk, headphones, walk. If I'm not on camera, I should be moving is my new life theory. Part one. Part two, hydration. A lot of us don't hydrate enough, and then we're eating when we're actually thirsty. So a lot of times when I get home, I just start drinking water. Bad move. You should be spacing it out throughout your day. But I hydrate before I eat because a lot of times I'm reaching for snacks when really it's just a dehydration issue. Number two, reduce systemic low-grade persistent inflammation. So that's what this whole group is about, is reducing our inflammation and doing the work to get there. That is a multifaceted approach. That's where I jump into a program with you guys, and my goal is to show you circadian rhythm, your dosha, your individual mind-body constitution from Ayurveda, gut healing practices from Ayurveda, the Ayurvedic diet, how to eat, because what you eat is almost less important, but how you eat it is super paramount. The mindful medicine chest, the herbs, spices, and tools we can use every single day to boost our health. And then I teach so much about hormonal health, balancing that, stress reduction, and all those different things that we can use from Ayurveda to build our vibrant health. And so that's a 6-week program. And we also do a beautiful detox in there, because that's what helps us truly reset the clock, reset the body, and get on a different trajectory. You might be on this trajectory called train wreck, which is what most of us are here in the West, towards neurodegenerative disease, heart disease, all the horrible things that come for us, cancer, the big C. But instead, if we can shift our health trajectory and be on a different trajectory, maybe we can just rise towards greatness. That's my goal. And be healthy and vibrant and beautiful and youthful and young and graceful and feel amazing and build great things and impact the world for as long as humanly possible, until destiny hits and it is what it is. So really reducing that systemic inflammation is multifaceted. It involves reducing your inflammation. It involves an anti-inflammatory diet, involves gut health, investing in good sleep, and all those kinds of practices that we talk about a lot here in this group. Then, after living a gut health focused lifestyle from Ayurveda, which is key, really key, once you build that gut health in the body, you're supporting your brain health on the gut-brain axis, supporting the immune system, and so many other things. Then we move forward into thinking about what is your health plan for every day. Can you plan for your health like you would plan for your kids? When it comes to my kids, I constantly am checking in. Okay, do I have everything on the calendar? Do I know what we're doing this week? Do I know what we're doing this month? Okay, do I have everything I need for you guys? Oh, you have a performance in 2 weeks. Have I ordered your shorts and your t-shirt? Okay, all the logistics of my children are perfect. That I handle first and perfect. Guess who thinks about her food third, fourth on the list? Me. It's usually that, household, then gym, then food. But if you can really look at yourself and say, okay, well, what if I wrote out what I'm going to eat all week? What if I wrote out my workout schedule every Sunday and pre-planned it? What if I wrote out my game plan for the week for my health, like I would my work plan or anything else? Like I would also plan a trip, level of detail. You can really get granular when it comes to your health. But planning in that way takes the guesswork out of things. That guesswork and spontaneity of oh, I'm hungry, I'll just eat, name the food, fill in the blank. For me, it's hummus and crackers. Or if I'm in a bad mood and stressed, it's nachos. So can you look at your food and say, okay, I don't want to be leaning on hummus and crackers because I'm hungry all the time. Instead, I'm going to make sure I have meals with protein, fat, and a good mix of fiber and the right amount of carbs. Can I plan ahead? And so I know what that is. Can I meal plan, meal prep, all those different things that we talk about, but we might not be doing. And it's especially true during the holidays. A lot of times when I'm going to a party during the holidays, I'm chugging a protein shake on the way to that dinner because I want my protein in and I want myself to feel at least partially full before I'm presented with really fun food choices. So think about what are your tools and how can you plan to have better health during the holidays. And lastly, there are some tools we can use for brain health. Adaptogens. If you've heard me speak anywhere, I love talking about adaptogens. Turmeric is an adaptogen, so is ashwagandha, brahmi, all of those. I developed a tea called deep sleep tea, and in this I have ashwagandha and brahmi. That helps with brain health. Also, sleeping well helps us clear all the lymphatic waste that collects in the brain at night. So deep sleep tea is amazing. I have a formula called Turmeric Gold that I have no bottle of right now. We actually just sold out and then got restocked. So lots of big things happening. But turmeric is very good for brain health because it's going to reduce that inflammation. I've had many people who have migraines so that they've reduced the severity of their migraines because they've reduced their inflammation. So there's a lot of good things we can do there in terms of tools for our brain health. And we've spoken about many today. We spoke about diet, sleep, gut health, the right amount of supplements and taking supplements that support us that are really superfoods and herbal super spices to help with our health. And so brain health is key. Your brain is that supercomputer, that master computer that is doing everything, managing everything. Supporting your brain health is key to your happiness, to your staying pain-free, to your being present to your life, to not having brain fog, and then also in the end, not developing these neurodegenerative diseases and issues that we're talking about here today. So thank you for joining me here today. I hope this topic was of interest to you. I hope it gave you some insight and perspective on how investing in your brain health today is your investment in your brain functioning well and beautifully far into your future. So thank you so much for joining me today, and invest in your vibrant health each and every day. Thank you so much. It's me, Dr. Shivani Gupta. You can find me at shivanigupta.com or on Instagram at dr.shivanigupta. See you guys soon.